Welcome to Mic'd Medicated. We are so excited. We have Dr. Rachel Goldman on the podcast with us. Rachel is a psychologist who specializes in the mind-body connection. And as Caroline and I were preparing for this episode, we just had so many questions and are so excited to dig into this field with you. So welcome. And maybe you can just start by telling everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here with both of you.
We're happy to have you. And I'm sorry about that very weak coffee that I made for you.
That's okay, because this is definitely the most fun podcast. So that's okay. So thank you.
No problem.
Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review.
Oh, you know I will. I think I already left it.
Perfect.
Yes. So yeah, I'm a clinical psychologist. I am out of here in New York City. I'm also a clinical assistant professor in the Department of Psychiatry at the NYU Grossman School of Medicine. That is a mouthful. And I'm a speaker and author. I have a new book coming
I have it right
out.
Here.
When Life Happens will be released April 7th, but it's on pre-order now.
Pre-order that, bitches, because that's selling like hotcakes. Everybody's messed up and needs to read this book.
That's right. So yeah, and I'm a mom. I always like to add I'm a mom to 2 young children as well. So I get it, like I think one of the first sentences in the book is life is tough and it doesn't need to feel so tough. But I think especially for moms, like we struggle. Things can be really hard.
I think they're always hard. I also think as a woman, it's so different. I feel like men, and also when men become parents, they just don't have that same guilt, shame, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
They don't.
Why? Is that biological?
I think so. I mean, I didn't do research in that area, but it's amazing. I think I didn't really realize that until I became a mom, of the differences.
I think it's partly the societal expectations and norms.
Yes.
So if you think about,
I think it's in there. I think it's literal biological.
It might be, but I also think
it's both.
Men have never historically been responsible for anything except bringing home the bacon.
That's true.
Yes.
And so they can compartmentalize, go to work, and be completely focused. Have you ever seen the meme where the woman's washing the dishes and she's thinking like, I got to do the laundry. I've got to fill out the parental forms. I've got to take, the kids to soccer in an hour, like all the things she has to do. And it's endless. Then
and her husband's thinking about taking a shit or something.
Exactly. The husband comes home and the only thought is what's for dinner.
Right.
It's so true.
My husband, it's just, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yes.
That's it. I don't even know if he says hi.
Right.
It's just
it's
straight
like,
to the bathroom.
Stop it, go. Just go to the bathroom.
As if he didn't have enough alone time at work.
Yeah, fuck you. You're right. And then these business trips, it's so unfair. A hotel alone.
It's the mental load. It's a lot that we think about and that we are wired to think about.
Because we're the gatherers.
Right.
But also I think we never stop playing the role of mom.
It's
so
true.
Like, for example, if your husband goes on a weekend with guys, if he's golfing, if he's at work, he can embody that and not also be thinking about his dad role. And I think as a woman, it might be biological. It probably is, but it's also, I think, societal. Like we never take the mom hat off.
It's true. Yeah. When I go away for work trips, I am constantly like either checking in or reminding things like, oh, don't forget to do this. Don't you forget to do that. Or I get the messages, right? Like all the updates. And I'm like, can I just have an hour?
No way. They have 100%.
Right.
They can't do anything. No one can do anything. It's like,
I hope my husband does not hear this podcast.
But we're the conductors. And like, no one knows how to play. So
we're not just the conductors. We are everything.
We're everything, but like, my husband can play piano by himself and this person can do violin by herself, but no one knows how to put the things together for the song.
It is.
They need me to be the,
right. Good thing you've got those strong Tracy arms.
Yeah. And good thing I am a good outsourcer, I think. So when I do pick the right players.
Which is important.
But let me ask
I could be
you,
better.
because I thank you so much for the advance copy, and I've started reading the book, and I love this topic, as Caroline likes to say.
You love self-help.
I was going to say I wish in another life I was a therapist.
Yeah, but you talk too much. You have to be a good listener. Isn't therapy a lot about listening too?
It is a lot about listening, but it depends on the type of therapy. So I specialize in cognitive behavior therapy, as I know you guys know, which is referred to as CBT. And there's more talking. It's more a team approach. It's not just kind of like sitting, being quiet, and being a blank slate.
So here's my first
yeah.
question for you. CBT is this idea, as I understand, and I
keep thinking
I've done it.
CBD.
I know. I have to be very careful when I say it because
Yeah.
I think sometimes people think that.
CBT,
CBT.
T like Thomas.
Not
like
not like the
therapy.
cannabis.
Right, exactly.
T like therapy.
And I
Thank you.
just switched my hand already. Oh my!
I know
gosh.
it's really heavy. I have like
It's okay.
I have like carpal tunnel from
Yeah.
this.
Oh, this is better. The left hand. Is
Okay,
good.
good. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
So Caroline and I just did an episode on manifesting, and I'm wondering, so much is about how you talk to yourself and what's in, like, how you frame what's happening, your experiences. And so is that what CBT is? And if so, how is that different from just manifesting in terms of thinking I will have or I am what I want to become?
Yeah. So the main idea of CBT, the T, is that our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are all linked and they're interconnected. So what we think impacts how we feel, and that impacts our behavior. And it can go in different directions. Like usually we use the CBT triangle. In my book, I make it a little more rounded because I don't think it should be a triangle. But it's really all connected. And so the opposite also can be true, right? Like we were talking about before, you can get dressed and feel a certain way from getting dressed and getting out the door. And then we have different thoughts. So it's all.
Told you, Eva, that you got to look good to feel good.
Right.
No more
No.
shitty clothes.
Honestly, I turned
Or dirty
50.
ones.
Or dirty ones. Yeah. I mean, she did tell we had a talk before, and this is just horrible. I don't know if CBT can fix this, but Eva.
We could do a reframe. We could figure out a way to make it happen.
Eva goes to Tracy Anderson with me, which is like a sauna. And because her clothes were dry, not clean, dry, the next day she wore it for yoga. That's absolutely makes me want to just throw up.
I do
Was
that a
anybody
lot.
sitting right next to you in yoga? Like, I'm curious
No,
if
she
by
did
the
it
end
at
of the
home.
class.
Her dog.
All right, not as
No,
bad.
I did-
Not
I-
as bad.
But like on your own body, like I don't fuck other people. I don't want to smell myself like that.
The reason I shared it is that as I'm doing yoga on my floor of my living room to my YouTube channel, I smelled like Tracy. It was sort of weird. It was like, wait, am I in Tracy? And then I was like, oh no, it's just because I'm wearing the clothes I wore to Tracy. It was just sort of
you
an
know what?
interesting.
We are going to do a
sensory
CBT reframe
thing.
right now.
Okay, let's do it.
Because you just said you smelled Tracy and you were like, whoa, am I in Tracy? I want to know if you had a better workout or better yoga than you would have if you didn't smell Tracy. Because
Ooh.
your brain,
Yes.
in a way, was like, oh, I'm in Tracy Anderson right now. I'm not in my home living room doing yoga.
Yes.
I bet you had a better workout because of the dirty clothes that you were wearing.
Wow.
So take that, Caroline.
Mic drop on that one.
Yeah, right?
That's
So-
kind of crazy.
So
Huh.
it all goes back to perspective and interpretation. It's how you
Yes.
interpret situations.
So
But
there's
it's so hard to get out of that. Just like
The mindset.
Yeah. Or also
Yeah.
just like how you are programmed, you
Of
know,
course.
like I'm always programmed when it's a Valentine's Day or it's a birthday or it's something like I'm going to be disappointed. So I'm going in with that perspective, even if it's great,
Yeah.
you know, I
So
don't
we
feel
have
bad
to
for me.
reframe it.
I'm
No, I
being
do feel
spoiled.
bad. No,
But,
so let's reframe
you know,
it.
I have to reframe that stuff in my brain.
Well, and it goes to lowering our expectations, which,
But like I have standards, man.
Agreed. So with
You
that,
need to
then-
raise yours.
So you know what? So let's forget about expectations then. Let's instead be realistic.
Ugh.
So I think, it's like goal setting even. Like it's great to set goals, but if they're not realistic, you're just setting yourself up for failure. So I like to think of it, say a holiday, Valentine's Day. If you want something or you expect something, sometimes we have to let the person know, right? Like
But what if
communication is so important.
Okay, I agree. And I let my husband know
Oh, she
exactly what
does.
I wanted to do for my birthday. And he decided that was not a good idea. So
Oh.
yeah, exactly.
So
I
then I
stumped
would
you
have,
now.
yeah. Then I would have a conversation. And
Well,
be
he's
like,
just like, I'm never going to do anything, because you don't like anything. I'm like, yeah, of course. I told you what I wanted. And you didn't do that.
so why didn't he? Did you ask?
He thought it was not a good idea. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So did you buy yourself that thing?
No, it
Or-
was a hotel.
Oh.
We were staying in the night at a hotel somewhere. And, of course we got to the hotel that he picked and it was awful.
Oh.
He even agreed and we changed hotels within an hour. But it wasn't the hotel I wanted to go or the experience, but it was great. I'm going to
Wow.
reframe it. We had a great time.
Okay.
It's all about perspective.
So there's a woman, Kelly Corrigan, and she has a saying that I love, which is you live in your head, so you might as well make it nice in there. And I always say to my children, you feel how you act, you don't act how you feel. And so I do think the brain is so powerful. And I do think you can change your expectations. You can change your feelings and your behaviors and your outcomes by changing your thoughts. But it's so hard. As Caroline just said, we're kind of on default going through life.
Right.
And like, you have to actually like stop. And instead of doing what like your default is, you have to then exercise free will and say, I have a choice to make. I don't have to do what I always do. I could actually do it different.
So that's actually CBT.
Really?
That
is
actually
CBT.
is acknowledging. And so I'm going to like put it in the CBT terms. The cognitive distortion is the negative thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can pause, identify it, or acknowledge the negative thought. And then we can challenge it or reframe it.
But you can only do that if you slow down.
Yes, absolutely. Right.
And then the other question too is like, Eva and I are medicated, obviously, hence the podcast title. And I think if we weren't on SSRIs, we wouldn't be able to even apply certain tools.
Right.
So like, how do you know when you're a candidate for CBT or you need a drug, not CBD, but a good drug?
Yeah.
And so you can then actually apply those tools.
Yeah. So I actually supervise psychiatry residents at NYU on CBT in particular, and they're psychiatry residents. So they prescribe medicine, but I'm supervising them on the therapy aspect of it. And what I often say is that there are some people that just can't do the cognitive work where they currently are right now in their phase of life. And some people need to be on medication in order to do the cognitive work, right?
Right. It's like if you go back to Eva's sort of metaphor, the Kelly Corrigan, like your brain's your home, make it nice. It's sort of like you might need a contractor and an architect before you can like actually make it nice.
No, it's so
you know,
true.
it's sort of like how I feel.
Yeah. Well, I
with the
like to
meds.
think of it as there's treatment options available, and
Right.
these are all tools available to you, right? Medication. It could just be medication. It could just be therapy. It could be a combination, right? So, but I love that quote that you had said, because I say something very similar often, which is that be mindful of the words you're using when you speak to yourself, because you're listening, and your self-talk can become your reality.
Yes.
Right.
But that is also manifesting, because if your self-talk becomes your reality, Caroline's been teaching me, because she's a big believer in manifesting, that your self-talk, if it's really positive, can also become your reality.
But then this is a question, because like for manifest, for us, I'm like, we're going to be billionaires. We're going to have like, we're going to beat Oprah.
Say it out loud.
Okay.
Do it.
Mel Robbins like, they're going to be like number 100. We're going to be, no, I don't want to be mean to other people. There's space for all of us in the number one spot.
Women supporting women,
Caroline. Women supporting women. No, but my point, I did have a point. Where was I going?
You're going to be
billionaires.
billionaires.
Right. So but is that setting us up for goals that are not achievable, or is it actually manifesting that we're going to be that? Because you said don't set goals you might not be able to do.
So so it's not a yes or no.
Okay.
Right. It's what works for you. And the reason for that is because if somebody, I like to use the example of like, if you wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful, or I got this. And if that feels good to you.
What if you're really ugly?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If that resonates and you can, that speaks to you, right? And it helps you, it inspires you. I'm not going to tell you not to do it.
Yes.
Right.
But if it's not realistic and it's discouraging, because then you wake up the next day and you check and you're not a billionaire, you check and you're not a billionaire, you check and you're not a billionaire, that could be very discouraging and eventually feel like you're a failure. Right.
Right.
So it depends on, again, it's the interpretation. So every situation is actually neutral until we interpret it.
But so Caroline doesn't need to worry about this. She's what we're calling an authenticist, an authentic narcissist. So she actually does feel it's going to happen and
That's
does
incredible.
feel
I
great.
do feel like I'm a little psychic. I got a little
you said
ESPN.
that
I'm
before.
getting
You're
ESP.
Yeah.
You're witchy.
I'm witchy. I would say I'm a good
Whereas
witch.
I'm the opposite. I feel like
You're data, baby.
Well, not just
I like
that, but I
data.
do feel like I was somebody who was very susceptible to ruminating. So if something happened at work and I was in a meeting, that I would then play back the meeting and say, I said it wrong, or that person's upset with me. And I would assume the negative. And my husband would always say, why not assume the positive?
So again, though, it depends on what works for you. But like in the situation that you said about, at work and you're jumping to the negative, that's where we would be like, okay, pause. Let's examine the evidence, right? Like if you were like,
Right.
I bombed that interview, or I like failed, whatever. Okay, did you really? Right. And maybe there's some evidence that maybe you didn't do great, but did you do good enough? Right. Or if somebody jumps to the conclusion, like cognitive distortion, also jumping to conclusions is one, that like you're not going to, I don't know, become a billionaire. We could be like, okay, let's examine the evidence. Where's the evidence that you will? Where's the evidence that you won't? And then what we can do is again, if it works for you, stick to it.
Yeah.
But
by the way, it doesn't have to be a billionaire. It could be
Right.
like 900 million.
Okay. Well, so we already reframed it, maybe a little more realistic. So, okay, I feel better about that.
I mean, you gotta see it to believe it.
But then we can tweak the thought to be a little more neutral. So if it is something that's setting you up for failure, again, we don't need to be like, yes, I know I'm going to be a billionaire. It could be, I don't know, but I'm going to try my best. Right. It
Right,
just has a different
because
feeling.
I think there is so much value as a human in achieving and recognizing progress, which is why they say
So
break
important.
things down into small steps.
Yes.
Because if you say, I'm going to run a marathon, but you've never run a mile, it can be overwhelming and feel like I'm never going to do it. And then you won't run. Whereas if you say, today I'm going to run a mile
and then see how I feel.
Exactly.
You actually are more motivated to go more. I think, you know,
Yes,
that's why it's also,
exactly.
I think sometimes it's easier to run outside than on a treadmill because you're like, oh,
I hate treadmills. I don't run on
right, I could keep going. Or like, you know, you don't
you
have
also
to.
have like no choice.
That's true. You've
Like
no
you
choice.
have to turn around and go home.
You have to turn around and go
but
home.
you can't just hit that stop button.
Can I ask you a question
That's
though?
true.
Because
Yeah.
I heard you on a podcast talking about this positivity neutral in terms of body
Toxic
image.
yeah.
And it was so interesting to me. And I know one of your specialties is obesity and eating disorders. But you were saying, like, I don't believe in body positivity. I believe in body neutrality.
So again, though, I want to start that with the idea that if it's working for you, go for it, right? But body positivity, first of all, there's so much emphasis on appearance. And I think that can really get us down sometimes, right? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I would say for the majority of women that I see, me included, I don't wake up every single morning absolutely loving the way I feel or look every day.
No, it's impossible.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. I wasn't sure. I'm like,
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, I'm Giselle.
Right,
Look at me.
right.
No.
But
I'm like, oh, is that new? You know?
But the body positivity movement is kind of like, you should love your body and the way that you look every day, all the time.
No, that's just not realistic.
Exactly. It's just not realistic. So my thought is, you know, like, first of all, let's get away from appearance focused, right? Because we go through different phases of our life. We feel differently about ourselves. We might look differently. But at the end of the day, I do want you to love your body, but you don't have to love the way it looks. But we live in our body, right? Our home is our body, and our body does things for us. So body neutrality is actually taking the focus off of appearance and putting it on the function.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
I love my arms because I gave you both a hug when I walked in. I love my legs.
I wish I could think that way.
Right,
Why is
love
that a
my legs
distinction,
I could
though?
run.
Because I feel like,
I agree. I like that.
Right.
I love that. But
you
to
could
me,
be
that
healthy.
is body positivity.
No, body positivity is like, oh, look at that cellulite ass. It's hot. I love it.
Yes.
Like, no, you're not.
It's just
attractive.
It's just getting away from the appearance. And the reason is because I think, especially for women, it is very difficult to get to a place of body image acceptance. So because of that, I always say we're on a journey of body acceptance. I don't think we actually wake up one day and we're like, I fully accept my body today, just like body positivity. But getting to that place, I think it is more helpful to think of the function that our body does for us as opposed to looking at the appearance.
That's so, I really love that reframing. And I would say probably on the Upper East Side, tell me if you guys think I'm wrong. Most women would rather look amazing and they don't care how their body functions. Like, they don't like in that way. They don't treat their body healthfully.
Right.
Who knows if they're taking
as
drugs.
long as it looks good.
Right. So, I mean, there's something in between.
I say to my daughter all the time, like, you want to be healthy and strong.
I love
and
that.
I actually do, like, I don't know. I feel.
But do you like if someone goes, you look healthy, Eva? That to me looks.
See, it
feels like I
doesn't
look
bother
plump.
me at all.
Maybe, but I'm a little fucked up in the head.
Body dysmorphia, you know, there's
or
a lot
like,
going on.
well, I
Or just
definitely have
changes
body
that happen.
dysmorphia. Like I was chubby. I think whatever your formative years are, your formative years for a reason. They form who you are. And at like 11, 12, like I was chubby. You know, I was not fat or obese, but I was like, you know, a little doughy. And I remember, you know, looking in the mirror and I felt good about myself. And that stays with you. Now, as a skinny woman who's been most of my adult life, I still will look in the mirror and I see that little fat girl.
But Caroline, I think that this is great. We're bringing it full circle because that articulation is exactly what I think we're all talking about. Tell me if I'm right, Dr. Rachel, that's a talk track that was part of your childhood that is on default unless you interrupt it and say, I'm not that chubby kid anymore. Like I'm a confident, strong woman.
Right.
I don't need to feel that way.
So you did my work for me already, because what I was going to say was when people come to me that experience that, I actually tell them, I want you to look in the mirror when you notice that thought, that says like, oh, you are still that chubby girl or you are whatever it is, to say stop. That is actually not true, and examine the evidence, right? Like, oh, I did Tracy Anderson before. I did this, whatever it is, your size of your clothing, whatever it is that speaks to you, that then you're challenging it and you're actually rewiring your brain. So we all have automatic thoughts. We all have them. And if we don't do the work, they just play on repeat, but then they impact us. So we can actually, the greatest thing about it is that what our brain tells us one day was learned, we can unlearn it and relearn something.
How many days does it take not to be a data person to unlearn? It's like 21 days, like a habit.
They say 21, 28, 30. I usually say try something for 2 weeks before you tell me it doesn't work. But it has to be consistent.
I love everything about this conversation, and just to be able to share practical tips with everyone who's, talking with us today or sharing this experience.
You mean listening?
You talk about a few things. You talk about your thoughts are not facts, which is amazing. And you also talk about slowing down and the value of reflection. And we talk all the time living in Manhattan. It's virtually impossible to hear yourself. So can you talk a little bit more about like, how do people do that?
Also being busy is a bragging right here.
Yes.
And how do people really start to acknowledge and therefore get wiser about the thoughts they're having as not being facts?
Yeah. So I like that you mentioned the word busy, because I identified a few years ago, I acknowledged that I was using the word busy a lot, and I did a reframe on myself. I now say I'm full. I have a full day. I don't have a busy day.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Because to me, again, it depends on what it means to you. To me, busy means I'm running errands all day. Like if I think of busy, I'm running here, running there, and maybe it's not things
it's
I
kind
love.
of mindless.
Right. Like today, I said I had this morning. To me, that wasn't busy. That was full. I have such a full day. I love what I'm doing. I love
that.
But doesn't it feel different?
Yes.
Yeah. You say I'm busy.
It's like saying you're excited instead of you're anxious.
Exactly.
Because sometimes we try to do that in this podcast too. Like the first few times, it's like we were so anxious. It's like, oh no, we're just excited.
So it's so interesting, because I also used to talk about being busy, and I don't remember when I became self-aware, but
you still won't take self-care, by the way.
But no, what I was going to say is that it became so annoying to me, because everybody else would say busy. And all of a sudden it's like, why are we valuing busy? Because you could run around all day and get nothing accomplished that was on your to-do list, do nothing that like furthers your big goals. So busy kind of felt like some status, symbol in Manhattan, because like the more you do, the better you are. And I loved when you said, just because you're doing more doesn't mean it's growth.
Right.
I like that.
Right. Because we can all be go, go, go. And most of us are. Like ours, especially in Manhattan, but society is telling us to just go, go, go and keep doing things, get it all crossed off your to-do list and do all of that. But when we really think about it and take a moment to think, what we just did was we probably weren't present in many of those things. What we were thinking about was the next thing on the to-do list each time. Right. Well, I got to get this done so I can go to the next one, right? It's like that question. What's next? What are you doing next? What are you writing about next? What are you doing next? And actually, that's how the title of this book came to be. It was like, what's the next race you're training for? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm training for life. Right.
I love that.
Like, let's just acknowledge and enjoy where we are now. And what we realize actually is that if we take the time, the moments, and I do believe that as full as we are, we can all create moments throughout the day to slow down and relax. It doesn't have to be like an hour meditation. It literally could be like when I went to the bathroom right when I walked in, just take a breath while I'm in the bathroom washing my hands, right? That's creating a moment to slow down. And what that does is by the end of the day, for many people, when you go, 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 here you are.
You
now
crash.
You're stressed, right? You're like all the way at the top. You walk in with your kids at the end of the day and you're like blowing up at them because of something that happened this morning because you didn't take the moment to yourself. So throughout the day, creating these little pockets of time brings it down a little. And what we realize is that when we're doing that and we're more mindful and we take these pauses and slow down, we're actually more present in what we do, and we're more efficient and more effective. So like I can do my work and be distracted and thinking about what's next, or I can be present and really do what I'm doing now and enjoy it.
That's why I'm like been so attracted to Shabbat. I know it's a goal that I'm not going to achieve probably. It's just, I'm setting myself up for failure. But I think in this world, but I do think like in this world, we're so addicted to our phones, especially Eva and I this is like an entrepreneurial endeavor. So like we're always we're thinking we're doing, my husband's an entrepreneur. It's like, we're never present.
Right.
I mean, I think it's hard.
It is hard.
So
I don't want to make it sound like it's easy.
No, but I think the idea of like, you know, Shabbat, like you turn off phones or you don't watch TV, or you actually have to engage with each other or yourself and relax and take time. Like there has to be a balanced version of that I think we need.
Do you find it's age related? Because I'm much older than Caroline, and I actually feel like I have slowed down a lot. And I remember the time where it was about go, 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 go. And now I feel like I do value the quiet morning, thinking about like, what are the important things I have to do?
And you actually, Eva, you put boundaries too. Like I'll be like, oh, do you want to work out with me now or come over? And you're like, no, I'm going to have my coffee and like digest what I'm doing or reading. Like you put the boundaries, which is also very important. Yeah. In terms of moving.
Very important. Yeah. And you know, it's interesting because I do think it comes with age and experience, but I also think it comes to a time that we just identify what's important to us, right? Like I think that aha moment of like, wow, the days that I enjoy my coffee in the morning and I'm not looking at my phone, I feel more productive, right? Or like we were talking about before when I was on the radio show, I identified that these were more special days for me, right? So it's really, again, a lot about the book is about turning inward. Like what are you actually feeling and what's going on right now? And in order to do that is to slow down. You can't be go, go, go. That's why we get, as a society, we are so stressed and we are so burnt out because 100%. You're just go, go, go.
Well, because no one's valuing going to get a foot massage.
Right.
Or, you know, valuing taking an hour time or being slower, especially in New York City. It's just not the culture. Right. But I think
it doesn't have to be that hour though. And that's, you know, that's where I talk about self-care.
It could be 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
Right. It can be that moment that I was in the bathroom washing my hands and breathing.
Self-care in the bathroom.
No, come on.
We've reached a really low bar.
I have to say, I hide in the bathroom all the time.
I do too.
It's because it's somehow I'm like, even though I'm not even peeing or anything and I'm sitting on top of the toilet and playing Block Blast, it's
It's like a weird universal thing that children don't respect bathroom boundaries.
Oh my gosh.
Like I remember being a kid, and now that I'm an adult, it's always the same. Like kids just barge right in and start asking you a question while you're in the middle of like number 2, and you're like, can I get some
You could lock the door, by the way.
Yeah. My son will just be like, "Mommy, what are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you think I'm doing?" Literally.
I know, but then my son will be like, "Are you playing Block Blast?" And I'm like, "Yes," and blast out of here. But going back to the feelings thing is one of the favorite parts in The Secret. Have you read The Secret? I'm assuming. Yeah. And Rhonda Byrne is like, whatever, like if you're doing something and it feels good, and I'm not talking about a drug or a fake dopamine hit, but it's like what Eva and I are doing. It feels so good. So keep doing it.
Yes.
And then you're going to keep attracting things that
absolutely
are on that wavelength. And I think a lot of us don't want to, I think there's 2 things. We don't want to address what we really love. And by the way, your job doesn't have to be exactly what you love all the time, because that's not realistic.
For many people, it's not.
Right. And it's not. But like there's other ways to find that happiness. But I also think a lot of us are afraid of when we do quiet ourselves, what are we going to actually hear?
Right.
And I'm somebody who listens to that, and it's hard because, you know, I don't even know why I'm feeling it. I just am. And like, I'll say to my husband, like, I feel like we need to do this. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why are we moving or why are we doing this? I'm like, I don't know. I just know.
Yeah. So I mentioned that in the book, actually, that when you start to slow down and you start to do these things, it might feel discomfort. Like I actually put that. It's like, it might be uncomfortable to you because it is new. So any change, good or bad, is overwhelming. The reason is because it's not familiar. Our brain loves familiarity.
Right.
It craves
it. You don't learn.
Right. So if you are used to go, 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 and all of a sudden you're sitting with your thoughts, you're like, what the, like, and it feels uncomfortable. Like this is when people make comments that sometimes are inappropriate, I always say it's because they didn't know what else to say. Right. It's
interesting.
Like they wanted to just like use up space.
I mean, that is something I do try to use up too much space,
but it's just like, we can be quiet. Right. But it feels different if you're not used to it. And then again, if you're with your own thoughts. And that's why, like when I teach breathing exercises, you know, I might say in the book, like, if just breathing is difficult for you because you're in your head, count with it, right? Or say a mantra or say something with it. Like you don't have to just sit in silence for like 20 minutes.
I can.
Right. I don't think I can.
Actually, I can do it if no one's around, but you and I are.
I don't think I could do it, to be honest.
No, I mean, I do like to feel, if I go out to dinner with my husband, and there's a break which is probably just him thinking. I don't know how to I feel it. I just fill the silence. Maybe that's something I need to like think about.
And that's okay. But so then I would ask as a psychologist, like, what does it feel like or what would it take to just sit there? Right.
What is the goal, to sit at dinner with your spouse quiet?
See, I don't try. I think he would just not say anything.
And then he would just be like silent.
It would be silent.
I want
for like 10 minutes.
I want you to test it out and see what happens.
I might have to tape my mouth though. No, like actually,
might,
if my
Caroline.
family was listening to this, they would be like, "Oh my God, that's you, Rachel."
Are you like a talker?
More so when I was younger. I mean, now I listen a lot as well, but I am a talker.
I know. And then they say you're supposed to be a listener. Fuck that shit.
Well, we need both. We
need both.
I mean, we're not going to be mutes.
My family talks so much that in order to get in, I had to just be like the loudest and talk the most. Because I don't even.
Was me too.
There's no pausing in my family. No one. I'm the best communicator.
That's again where, and obviously I've done a lot of therapy. So your experience as a child of not being heard and having to like push your way in, so you're loud and you're a little provocative. Now as an adult, you can say, I don't need that anymore because I'm a strong woman and I have a loving husband. Like I can, that doesn't serve me anymore.
Right.
Shit, I know, but it's really hard. I don't think
it's really hard.
If I go on a dinner with my parents, I don't know if I could get a word out. Like with my dad, he's like he's a big interrupter.
So do you have to just sit in silence then because you don't think you can get a word in, or do you?
No, everybody's talking. My family actually
talking at the same time.
My son was like, "This family needs a talking stick."
I love that.
And I was like, "Damn straight, Teddy, you're right. We totally need like a mute button."
Yeah.
Everyone's just like talking at each other.
Well, and also I find this is something I've been practicing, which is so hard. You are not really listening. You're thinking about what you're going to say or how you feel about what they say versus just really being like open.
Right.
And that's, magnified a big issue in our society where nobody wants to understand So I read this great book once called The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Stephen Covey. Yeah. I highly recommend it for everyone. Sometimes you read those books that have been out forever and you think they're just very
archaic or
not archaic, just it's like a sales shtick. But then you read it and you're like, oh, there's a reason this has been on the bestseller list for,
What are those 7 steps, Eva?
I don't remember the 7 steps per se. She's making fun of my memory. But one thing he said, which might be the first step, is seek to understand before being understood. I think that is such a valuable piece of advice in all aspects of your life.
That was a really interesting pause. You just went...
that was a pause.
Yeah,
I was about to say something like, wait, are you done talking?
Well, no, because I was trying to pause and not continue to rattle on. But I realized that my first point that I was going to say is that you speak about sort of the quieting, which I love, about the pause and reflection and then maybe reframing your thoughts.
Right.
But then how do you kind of follow? Like, I just want to make sure I want the handbook, or I want the kind of the toolkit. You call it the mental toolkit.
It's called When Life Happens, Eva, and you have to buy it.
We are all going to buy it.
We're not giving all the secrets because then they won't buy the book.
Can you give just like the executive summary of the mental toolkit?
Yeah. So
like everybody needs a hammer and a screwdriver. What are those in your toolbox?
Right. So one of the chapters is about creating and building your own toolbox, because it's really important that we all have our own personal toolboxes. And the reason I believe that is because my tools aren't going to work for every situation, and my tools may not work for you either. So it's really important that we actually slow down and take the time to think about what we actually will use in those situations, right? So when clients say to me like, oh, I'm going to put a breathing exercise in my toolbox or running, I'm like, do you actually see yourself doing that? If the answer is no, do not put it in your toolbox. Just because it's in mine, it maybe shouldn't be in yours. Or you might be like, I don't know. Great, let's try it, right? So back to the self-care piece goes with the toolbox, meaning that I want you to participate and practice with these tools when you don't necessarily need them as self-care practices. And the reason is then when you really need it, when you're really stressed, when you're really overwhelmed, when you're irritable.
What if we're always irritable and overwhelmed?
Then we need to start slowing down.
Right.
We need to do some breathing
What if
exercise.
your toolbox is spending money?
You gave me a look like that was mine.
Well,
fuck you.
So is it working for you is the question. Maybe
yes, I look great and you look great.
So it's serving a purpose.
No, but I guess what I meant is like,
What if it's like not a
do
good
they
behavior?
need to be healthy, or can part of your toolbox be going out and having tequila with your friends? Or
so I do mention in the book
that's
that
a good question.
Yeah. So there's some, we call them maladaptive coping mechanisms versus adaptive coping mechanisms. I just say,
but doesn't mal mean bad?
Right. So unhelpful versus helpful.
Oh, okay.
Right. So
je parle français un petit peu. Mal is
so the unhelpful ones typically include things like drinking, drugs, binge eating. I'm not saying eating, but binge eating, violence, aggression, all of those things. And you might be thinking, well, I do really enjoy a glass of wine when I'm feeling stressed. And the answer is okay if it's working for you. But if it's your only tool in your toolbox, that's a problem.
Because if you're really stressed, you might need a case of wine.
Right.
It's fun. I like to drink when I'm not stressed. That makes sense. Like
that's great.
I feel like
you probably can enjoy it.
It's preventative for Caroline.
Yes. I don't know. I think but when I'm stressed, I need to move versus like drinking.
So
it would make me more stressed.
And that's very individual.
Right.
Right. So some people, yes, when some people are anxious, they have to move. And I have some clients that literally we go through this whole reflection process. And for some people, when they're anxious, they need to slow down and do something more like yoga. When some people, when they're anxious, they need to do something more intense like running. It just depends how you're feeling. But the key is to know that about yourself.
But I like
that's
what you
really
said.
Hard.
No, but I like what Dr. Rachel said about, by the way, I love that you're Dr. Rachel. It's like Dr. Phil, Dr. You know. You should just anyway. It's like Madonna. No last name needed. I like
that's
you say,
amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I love it. I like how you say though, drink like going for tequila. That's okay as long as drinking is not your only coping tool,
right? And it's not causing and it's not getting in the way of your functioning, right?
Right.
So like it's not causing distress.
Well, hopefully, if it's not your only tool, then it wouldn't be.
Right.
If it is, then you're really.
And that's why I also say binge eating is in that category as opposed to eating. Because many of us participate in emotional eating, and that's okay sometimes. But again, if it's your only coping mechanism and you are participating in emotional eating and it turns into binge eating on more days than not, that can become problematic.
100%.
Yeah.
What about just having more sex?
If it's working for you.
I mean, is it working for you?
No, but I
think if you have sex, you feel great.
Probably a great.
But who has time when you have young kids
and you're just on the go all the time, busy.
Yeah.
Well, it always seems to come back to slowing down.
Right.
So, do you believe
or getting fat? I mean,
do you believe living in a big bustling city like Manhattan, you can protect that pace of slowing down and getting in tune with yourself?
It's pretty hard.
I would like to think so, and I can speak personally. That I think since I've had kids, it's forced me to slow down.
How old are your kids again?
2 and 7.
Okay, so you're they're little.
I'm in it. I'm like not sleeping. I'm in it. Yeah. I think we can. And it's interesting. I had a conversation recently with somebody not in New York City, thinking that this was such a New York City thing, the go, go, go. And I'm like, no, it's got to be better in other parts of the country. And they were kind of like, no, it's really not. They're just like in traffic, like, And I'm like, oh no. In New York, we just zigzag. I'm like, we don't need to wait in traffic and like get anxious and get angry. We just zigzag our way around. So, but I think society as a whole, we're told that, this hustle culture, we're told that our worthiness is tied to being so busy and all these things. It is society as a whole. But I think large cities like New York, I do think it is more challenging.
I also it's so damn loud. How can you even focus when it's like you're quiet and it's like,
right?
Get the fuck out of here! I mean, homeless guy shitting on the street. Like it's. Like, I feel like I'm
glad we're doing this in person because so many times I record podcasts or like media interviews and literally I'm like, New York City, like they hear like the ambulances going by and all these things, and I'm like, sorry.
I'm really sensitive and like New York. I grew up here and I'm like.
Oh, you grew up in the city?
I grew up in the city. I know I'm one of those rare breed of cray cray.
There's a lot of you.
We're not normal. I mean, I don't know anything about the wilderness, but I can spot a creepy man very far. Like there, I know that energy. 100%.
But that's because you're observant.
So it's not because I grew up here?
No, I think you're aware. Maybe
you
you're
think
more
growing up in a city, you become more observant.
No, or my personality is just observant.
I mean, I'll give an example. The other day I was walking home from maybe school with my son. And I said something like, we're not going to go that way. And we like went the other way. And usually he'd be like, why, mommy, why? And like, stop and ask all these questions. And I said to him, eventually, I was like, I'm so happy that, you kind of just listened and we did it. And he was like, yeah, I think I saw what you saw. But like, I was like, and I was trying to teach him, I'm like, we have to be so observant, like we really need to be aware When you're driving, you have to be aware also, but it's different when you're in the city.
You
right?
kind of always feel like this fight or flight
Yeah.
in the city, which I feel
I
like
hate to say that, but I do agree.
yeah,
with
it's
you.
like I feel like that's why when like, Eva will be like, oh, like she knows people who do like adventurous things. I'm like, I'm trying not to die every day. Like just living
I
is an
like
adventure.
hiking. I go hiking and I love adventures, but I agree. Living in the city, although I will say since the pandemic, I think the pandemic also forced a lot of us to slow down.
Yes.
Although I agree when we're out, like when I'm home, like I work from home now.
Like even I just say we want to stay home.
Yeah. I would say I stay home a lot. I mean, I work from home. When I'm out, I feel that pressure. I feel that go, go, go. I feel that energy. And I feel that I need to protect myself. I need to be safe, unfortunately. So it's
right. It's like you need to, well, I feel like I need to be safe from like the creepy drug addict, but also from other parents and moms who are like, oh, you're not going to the Natural History Museum event where, you know, you have to blah, 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 and you're not going to this and you didn't sign up for that. And I'm like, chill the fuck out.
I zone that all
That's
out.
actually really interesting. So we've talked a lot about our own voice in our head and how we have to really reframe how we talk to ourselves. But what do you counsel in terms of other voices around you?
Yeah. So I talk about this a lot because a lot of my clients are on GLP-1s and, you know, comments and questions, and it comes up all the time. So I always say first, we want to be prepared by having scripts available. So like if you can anticipate that somebody's going to comment or question a certain thing in the moment, as humans, we get anxious and overwhelmed and we're like, oh my God, what do I say? And when that happens, we tend to give long explanations and it becomes very emotional. If we're prepared, we're able to just like nip it in the bud, say the facts and move on.
Yes.
Right. So I think we have to think about like, okay, I'm going to be at pickup and this mom is probably going to ask blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And to kind of pause and to think ahead, to anticipate those challenging situations and have a plan for it.
I agree. I think people are always a little taken aback by me because I don't have a plan. I just don't care sometimes. So I'll just say, no, like I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Or I've gotten the reputation, which I'm sure Eva has too, is sort of like RSVP as pending. It's like I might show up or not.
I'm getting a reminder for this party for my son, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know yet. I'm not responding yet.
Yeah, like why do we? It's crazy.
But it's like a month away.
That's
like, I don't know my life in a month. I want to be present today.
But that's the problem. What also with New York City, that's very hard. It's like already they're like, oh, are you signing up for the camp at school? I'm like, it's fucking snowing.
Yeah, I need to sign up my daughter for the Threes program next year.
But that's not other places.
Right.
And I think that's why it's so hard, and it gets to me now because. To be real, I am so programmed that to control everything, I've got to be such a fucking planner. You know, everything has to be organized.
As the famous Mel Robbins said, let go.
Oh, please. She definitely doesn't let go. Or I don't know, maybe she does, but she's got an organized schedule.
On her podcast.
I was. It didn't come out yet.
How was it?
It's coming out in February. I don't know, but it was a great experience. I do have to
She's a Dartmouth alum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She seems her voice is very, what's the word? It's just kind of
melodic,
soothing.
Yeah,
like, it's almost like she could be do audibles. You know, like she's got some kind of hypnotic voice, hypnotic in a way.
Yeah,
maybe like Oprah does too.
People always ask me, "How was that experience?" And I'm like, "She's Oprah.
She's got. I've seen her in person. She does have.
She's
amazing energy.
She is amazing, and I'll tell a story that I've told probably 100 times by now. But something that really stuck out to me the second time I was in person with her, I did another conversation with her over her podcast, but the second time I was in person with her, right before we went on stage, she kind of had all of us back like in the green room talking. And she kind of said to all of us, I want to just make one thing clear. You are all here for a reason. And whatever that reason is, I want you to make sure that you get that message across on that stage. So she's like, at some point, I'm going to ask you. I just got chills. I know. It's like,
I know. She's kind of a messiah.
She's
kind
amazing.
Of person.
And it took me, like, it really inspired me to make sure that I was like, oh my God, like, why am I here? I know I'm here for something, but like, and I knew like, I'm here because you asked me to be here. But I'm like, what's the one message I really want to make sure I get across? And at the end, she actually went to each of us with a microphone and was like, what's your one message? And gave us that, like, her platform to be able to do that. And I've brought that everywhere. I've done so many speaking engagements since with like panels with other women. And whenever we're backstage, somebody on the panel is always really anxious. And I'm like, I'm just going to tell you one thing. I'm like, I'm going to tell you what Oprah said and I'm going to paraphrase it and kind of make it my own Dr. Rachel. I was like, but you're here for a reason. Like,
love it.
Lower the anxiety. Take a deep breath. You're here for a reason. Somebody invited you and they think you belong here.
Okay.
Are you going to ask her about Dr. Rachelisms?
Oh, I
well, I
love
was
my
going to
Dr. Rachel.
say, like, we invited you here.
Yes.
So before we
Oh.
close,
Ooh.
what is
you're putting me on the
your
spot.
reason to be here?
Yeah. What is your message?
Yeah. So I have a few, but I'm gonna limit it to one because I already said the one that about the self-talk one is the one that I actually said with Oprah. That like to be mindful of the words you're using when you speak to yourself because you're listening.
Love it.
So that's not gonna be my one because we already said.
And can I just say there's
What?
a reverse of that, which I love, which is what other people say about you is none of your business.
Oh, I love
Ooh,
that.
I love that.
I
I
love
do
that.
want to know what people say about me though.
I really
I don't
love
care.
that.
But you operate
Oh, I don't
like you
care.
could
I don't give a fuck, but I
like,
want to know.
It's
I don't
really
wanna
that.
know.
It's so funny you said you
Maybe
like
I
that
do.
and
I don't
want to
know.
know what other people say because I think that quote is intended for somebody who cares a lot what other people think.
Yes.
What other people think about you is none of your business.
Oh, I don't
whereas-
care what they
Exactly.
think. I'm
Right,
just so
that's why you like
curious.
it. Right.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
curious, like how I'm
Authenticity.
interpreted.
Yeah.
Right. Like
No, totally. Me too.
yeah. I'm
I
like,
mean,
oh, she's such a flake, or like, I'm sure that
Right.
I could probably guess what people are saying about me.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
I'm even better
That's
than you
your
think.
self-talk.
No, but that's the interesting thing because a lot of things that we want to know, we actually already know if we slow down
Yeah,
and
of
turn
course.
inward.
I know I know who's a jealous bitch. Sorry, we interrupted you. Of course,
Yes.
Eva over here
And
is
I already forgot. Wait, what
profoundly
was-
connecting you to Oprah, and I'm like,
I do
yeah,
remember what I
bitch.
was going to say. So I think my message would be that we don't need to completely change anything. We don't need to overhaul our whole life to start seeing changes. It can literally be, although it's difficult, it can literally be one step forward today. Right.
Right.
So like say you've been wanting to go to the gym.
You
and
said that, I
haven't-
think, a tweak, or
Yes,
maybe I
yes,
heard
the
you say that.
tweaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because tweak is more manageable.
Mhm.
It sounds more digestible. It's easier. It's doable. It's realistic. So you can start with one thing today and then acknowledge that you did it and then have the motivation and inspiration to probably keep going. But you don't need to be looking at the whole staircase right now, right? Like you're
I
out the
love that.
bottom looking up. You don't need to be at the top yet. So just take one step and know that you're moving one step forward, and that's okay. And that's enough.
This has been the most delightful conversation.
thank you.
I have loved everything you've said. I'm
was very
so
therapeutic.
excited to read
I
your
love
book
that.
cover to cover.
Thank you.
We are going to put the book in the show notes. You can pre-order it today, and we'll put all your information so people can follow you. Bam, mic drop.